Mm-hmm.
It's happening.
Okay. My lighting just went crazy. Hey, it's recording.
Yeah, I saw that. I was waiting for things to normalize a little bit before we
Nah.
proceeded. Um, Hello and welcome back to this week's podcast, which this week will be brought to you by Brad Little, more like Brad Big Idiot, and also Body Pains.
This week's podcast is also brought to you by Angry Robots and Beloved Propaganda.
I'm your host, Madison.
I'm your other host, Jesse James, and welcome to our low energy this week's podcast.
Yeah.
This is our conversational leftist mukbang where we mostly recover.
Mostly. That
Yeah.
seems to be the recurring theme. I am currently post second vaccine as of like 4 hours ago. Or no, 6 hours ago. Anyway, my arm hurts.
Yeah, it sounds like you're getting side effects from that, which feels like a dark karma to us not recording on the day that I got mine, because mine hurt for like an hour and then completely disappeared, which is frustrating.
That does
'Cause I
seem
was
like some dark karma.
I was kind of hoping it would make me sleep for like 12 hours because that sounded really good.
I'm feeling like that. That's kind of how I'm feeling. It's weird because it started being sore just like on my arm, which I expected, but
Mm-hmm.
it's gotten like worse and is now my entire shoulder and neck is
Yeah.
like very sore. So, it's fun. It's good.
Yeah.
It'll be hopefully better and not worse tomorrow, but we'll make it.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it does not get super bad because it seems like I have not heard anybody say it was terrible, but I've definitely heard people say that it was flu-like, and that seems not fun.
I'm also a big baby when it comes to being sick at all. I can't handle being any variety of sick. I just would rather die than have any mild
Yeah.
illness. So
Completely reasonable, completely normal reaction to sickness. I do know for a fact that you have many very thick sweaters and at least a thick blanket or two, so it seems like you should be equipped. Yeah.
I'm super equipped for this. So I basically live my life as if I have the flu at all times. So
Awesome.
it's great.
Well, you just got back from Texas yesterday?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yesterday at 11 p.m. Um, actually, right before right before my plane took off.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you probably saw this because I tweeted about it. Um,
It's
right
possible.
before my plane took off, I got a like emergency weather service notification on my phone that was like, "Oh no, tornadoes!"
Oh.
And then we took off into the sky. So
I had not seen that. That might explain why Nicholas was like, I hope she's not dead. Because when I heard that yesterday, I was like, yeah, me too. What?
yeah, that explains that.
Okay, that clears up some rough patches from yesterday. Good to know.
Yeah, not dead. Really scary turbulence though. I don't
Yeah.
um doesn't really bother me. I don't know, like whenever I get into situations that are completely out of my control, like in an airplane,
Mm-hmm.
I have some sort of like weird mental approach where I'm like, this is a video game, this isn't real.
Oh.
and, and so I have like a total suspension of caring at all about like turbulence or like tornado warnings. Like none of it, it's not real, doesn't matter. But we had a couple of turbulence moments where I was like, I might die.
I have a weird reaction to stuff like that too. It's actually happened in Turbulence as well, but I become very okay with death all of a sudden.
Yeah,
But I start looking around and being like, "Can I be helpful?" And it's just not. It's not useful on a plane, especially that kind of turbulence where the plane is going and then it just goes like for a second.
yeah.
That's always where like I think maybe it's like a panic switch flips and then I'm like, oh, that's fine. It's woo.
That's the exact same mental approach I have. I just become very okay with the idea of dying in a plane crash all the time. I'm like, I
Yeah,
guess this is how it happens. But the lady that was sitting next to me slept and snored through the entire thing, so that was
that
comforting.
seems nice. Yeah.
Yeah, like everyone else is freaking out, but this lady's dead to the world.
There's some business going on in my neighborhood today, so along with things being a little bit slow and sleepy, we might also have some weird interruptions.
Nice.
Yeah. Your fancy party looked fun, or at least entertaining.
It was entertaining. It was the first event I guess like the first event I've been a part of for that company, that client,
Mm-hmm.
and went pretty well. I'm not an events person, but
Yeah.
it was fun. It was good. We had a good time.
I always think I'm gonna be more fun at events, and then when I do it, it ends up being like, God, I hope people ask me to do stuff because I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do here. But that's just
Yeah. I did once I got there, I also feel that way, and so I immediately took up upon myself the task of putting like all the stickers on the water bottles and all like the
uh-huh.
assembly stuff because I'm like, this is repetitive work that I can do well. Let's just
Yep.
do this for like 2 hours. And that was good.
That helps a lot.
Yeah.
The best events, these are like more parties than events I had to do anything at, but my parents' old work had events where they would get like, this is a very pre-COVID event. They would get like 12 boxes of 100 sugar cookies, and everybody and their kids would show up, and they would get like just piles and piles of like frosting applicators and like different things you could put on stuff. And then you would go and make as many sugar cookies as you wanted, like around start of December, and then just take a box home with you. Uh,
It's pretty awesome.
but I was always a little bit like, what, I'm supposed to talk to these other kids, and instead I could just work on these cookies, and it was very pleasing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I we are very similar event goers, I feel.
that could be.
Yeah. Jenny's leaving.
Work.
Uh Dinner. She's going to dinner somewhere.
Oh. Well, speaking of dinner, what do you have? Okay, well, avoid eating shit, but what do you have for things over there?
I hate this chair so much. Um, I have I had a friend recently go to McCall or pass through McCall,
Okay.
Idaho, and they got me some some chocolate covered espresso beans.
All right. Those are excellent.
Yeah.
Like up to like 8 or 9 at a time, and then they become very unexcellent.
I have found that out.
Yep.
And there's our ASMR.
You can really hear the chocolate.
You can. And I have a glass of Chardonnay that's way more than I intended to pour, but
I might add a bad alcoholic drink to my list, but for now, I have keeping it real cool. I've got this honey brew kombucha that's a hawthorn rose with cardamom and myrrh. So
that sounds really good.
That'll be pleasant. and then I'm gonna keep that smooth feeling going with 1,000 BCAA aminos thermo performance energy thermogenic neon blast. 300 milligrams of caffeine.
Why is it thermogenic? What does that mean?
I don't fucking know what it means. Hey, anybody want to tell me if this is gibberish? Because it seems like it.
Thermogenic performance energy?
Thermo Performance Energy X, 300 milligrams of caffeine, thermogenic neon blast. I've had this in the fridge for months, and I've been looking at it like, nah. But
today's the day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me just a moment. If you want to prep any other stuff to show, I will grab something stupid.
Okay. I also have a glass of water that I promised Jenny I would drink earlier than I didn't drink.
Was that thing water?
This is water.
Nice.
Jenny gave it to me and told me that if I didn't drink it before she got back, that I would be in trouble. Yeah. That was earlier this afternoon, and she's been back, and she doesn't know I didn't drink it.
What the fuck? You know, it's good to have a mom around, but you gotta listen sometimes.
Sometimes.
So I wanted to go grab this. I mean, this isn't that weird, but I have had this in the fridge for a while with this sign that says "for tequila" on it. So,
okay, yes.
In case you want to know why. And I guess for food, do you have any of that action over there?
Just the espresso beans for now.
I've got an orange.
Woo!
I've got Italian herb olives.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And I've also got this weird plate of spring foods, I guess.
Ooh.
One of them is a little piece of carne asada, though, so I guess that's less springy and more just going to be very difficult to eat on a camera. These aren't. Anyway.
That looked like a pretty satisfying carrot. Is it like from someone's garden? It seems like it's small.
No, they're just regular ass carrots.
Still good.
Yes, carrots are always good. Well, I guess in my current events, I don't think that was intentional. That looked like you were like
No. No, it was not intentional.
So I watched John Carter of Mars for the first time. And it's not good. But my coworker has been wanting to watch movies, and all of them have one specific actor in them. And I've now been roped into watching Battleship as well. So it's easy enough to figure out from that. I've seen Battleship once, and I know that's terrible. So
I don't remember who's in Battleship.
Rihanna.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
I just want to say, in defense of John Carter of Mars, I like the dog monster. Not in defense of John Carter of Mars. The rest of it sucks.
I have not even heard about that movie until this moment, so.
Yeah, well, it's on Disney Plus, so you can continue not caring.
Great.
Yeah.
That's where I want that to stay.
I'll break it down for you. It's based on a series of books. The guy. So I always forget who this actor is that my coworker's obsessed with. But I always think of Skeet Ulrich and Channing Tatum. I think he's kind of in the middle somewhere. But I don't remember his name. basically ever. Oh, no, it's Taylor Kitsch. I got it.
Okay.
And the storyline is he's a shitty, maybe Confederate, like Virginia soldier person. And then he gets teleported to Mars. And it's supposed to be, I think, maybe the late 1800s. And then their version of Mars, the only difference when you get to Mars is that because of your superior human leg strength for gravity, you can jump really far. And all of the amazing adventures that you think could come from that mostly don't happen, but there are some things that happen. Oh. But there's a dog. So have you seen... oh, shit. What is this thing that I'm trying to remember? Whatever. I think it's Dark Crystal has a dog monster that's like got a giant mouth, but it's mostly just a little mouth monster.
Okay.
It's very cute. This movie basically has the exact same thing, except it's sort of a lizard, and it's still good. I still like a dog monster that's got a big mouth for no reason.
That seems pleasant.
Yeah, he's generally a good boy, so like, why would I not like it? And that is John Carter of Mars, my full review. 2 out of 5 or so stars.
When you said that, I was thinking of the movie John Wick. Are they at all related? There's too many like John something movies.
The main characters in John Wick and John Carter of Mars have the same haircut. So yes, they are related.
Okay, great. Yes. Well, I will continue to not care about either of those.
Yep.
Films.
Good choice.
Did I see anything? Have I seen anything? I have not watched really anything recently other than just that one episode of The Circle.
Yeah.
Which we already kind of addressed.
No, we talked about The Circle. I didn't watch any more yet. I don't know if I will. But I'm glad that they're still making bad TV over there.
That's all that I need them to do. Did you catch any of the State of the Union?
I saw recaps of it, but it's so difficult to watch. I do understand it to be not the worst, as stated. I also understand it to be cop extraordinaire Joe Biden. So I'm interested to see what, if anything, happens, because I know he mentioned the PRO Act. That's probably the most positive thing I have from that, is that name is actually out there a little more.
Which one is the PRO Act?
The PRO Act is the one that would guarantee a lot of rights to both organizing unions and maintaining unions. I would say union busting is probably one of the biggest issues that we have with a lot of the country at the moment when it comes to non-police murders. And they do intersect quite a bit, but usually union leaders are murdered in other countries and not here, because that's how we like it. I think I've mentioned it before, but I think it was union leaders that Coca-Cola hired hitmen to murder in Venezuela.
I do remember you. Yeah, I do remember you mentioning this.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
So, more rights would be good, but it does feel a little bit like the climate stuff where we're gonna supposedly reduce emissions by 50%, by 2030, which seems like nothing. Like it does say, hey, we're not gonna like dig up every inch of the country to like drain the oil out of it, maybe. But it doesn't really say much else, especially when a lot of Republicans are still convinced that carbon traps make coal clean and weird shit like that. That clean coal shit that people talk about, where they labeled something clean coal and all they did was put a filter over their smokestacks, and they were like, see, it fixes it.
It's clean now.
Yeah, that was clean.
It's all good.
And people like Alex Jones like to talk about how, no, it turns the coal into water vapor, which is right on brand, honestly.
Scientifically sound.
Yep.
Yeah, there was a lot of, like, I only watched, I could only stand to watch about, like, a 5-minute clip of it.
Yeah.
I don't remember if they did this during Trump's State of the Union, if this is just like a performative thing that they do, but like, did you catch them or notice everyone giving the standing ovation at like the end of every single sentence he said? Did you notice this?
I didn't watch it long enough to pick up that pattern, but that's weird.
It felt very like culty and robotic, it just because the shot that I was watching was just like Biden saying fine things, I guess, and then just Pelosi and Harris just like standing up and clapping robotically, like at the end of almost every sentence. It was so weird, and it's so strange looking to me. It just felt very unnatural and forced. I don't know if that's how they usually go, and I don't remember Trump's that well, so
I feel like that happened with Trump too, but it's all such a gross blur that it's hard to say exactly.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that, I mean, it's the normal, like, America's the amazing exception in the world, and we're the good guys. There was plenty of that as usual, and that was just annoying. But didn't they also put out some like press release or something saying that we're in a direct competition with China, and like we have to I have to find that. It was phrased so cringy. It was horrible. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know exactly what you're talking about, but that was what I was going to say next, was that the main thing that I want to have shifted in tone is this anti-China weirdness, and that isn't happening. Like, I don't think we're going to be not even pro-China, but not anti-China again for quite a while, based on the way people are acting about shit. Which benefits no one.
Yeah.
I mean, it does kind of benefit rich people, but it doesn't benefit anyone else. So.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. And there was one other line that I caught that was like, America's the shining beacon of democracy and in the night. Like, I don't know who these speechwriters are, but they should all go away immediately and forever. Really bad. God. Reminds me of shit that I used to write like in 7th grade. Just like, so I don't know.
It has a very like middle school feel. The like way that they use their like allusions to garbage is just make an informational, semi-inspirational like speech. You don't have to be assholes about it.
Yeah.
Or they could get just like hypersexual. That would be pretty funny too. At least one presidential speech should be just disgusting.
We're gonna lower our carbon emissions. Do you like that?
Do you like that?
Biden just slowly loosening his ties. Do you like
Just...
that? I would pay so much money to never see that. So, good.
So I have a question. That's, what does Biden's sexy voice sound like?
Probably just like a series of groans, right? I'm not attempting this. No, I can't.
So, this might be the time to spring some unpleasant news on you in regards to Biden's sexy voice. I have commissioned a bespoke slash fiction that I have not read, and I had Nicholas read it to make sure it was, I don't know, I just needed to have somebody respond to it in some way so that I knew a little of the tone I was getting into. And he was high at the time, and he still seemed like not disgusted, but definitely like, oh! So that's
Okay.
going to be an experience. The problem is, I don't know if I can do a Joe Biden impression. So I've been trying to figure that out, but it's like Harrison Ford almost dying. Like, that's the closest I've been able to get, is Harrison Ford after he's been like stabbed with something and he's trying to like live through it.
Come on, man.
Yeah. It's because when you listen to Joe Biden talk, it is both like more angry and forceful and also like more desiccated mummy at the same time than you can really mash together.
It's hard to, yeah.
It is actually pretty hard. And I'm really worried. I'm really worried about this story because this story is the return, in a sense, of Natalie's Shady Fiction Warehouse.
Hell yeah.
Kurt and Natalie fashioned a couple pages of Joe Biden smut, and look forward to that.
We all will.
I'm not going to put it at the start of the podcast because I think what viewers we get might no longer be viewers.
Yeah, I feel like that's something you gotta leave at the end for all the real ones.
Real ones know they want it. I did end up with multiple Poetry Month editions as well.
Oh, good.
But those are, there's a sense of like unsatisfaction almost, I would say, from these. So I'm glad I can mix this with what undoubtedly will be a nightmare of a Joe Biden experience. Speaking of nightmares, did you happen to get around to any of that video stuff I sent you? I'm guessing not, because you probably would have mentioned it. Okay.
No, I did not.
That somehow spread through a lot of people over here after I brought it to Natalie's attention. Next week we should talk about it because it could be Citizen Kane too, I think.
Oh, okay. Wow.
In themes and feelings. Not in art. Definitely not in that.
Really?
No. No.
Okay.
It's the I don't even know how to describe it. Eventually, I feel like we're going to revisit the locations of those videos, except it'll be less similar to a movie and more similar to when the feds raided Rudy Giuliani's place. I think that'll probably be more the feel behind it.
That's exciting. That is very exciting.
But as a preview, if I were to use the term God plane, what would you think about in terms of, helping the world or real estate?
Real estate?
Yeah. Those videos have, I believe the main character was described by Nicholas as divorced dad Gollum from Lord of the Rings. So if that kind of gives you a feel.
That gives me a feeling. Yes, yep. I have a feeling about that. Okay, well, everyone look forward to that. I'll make sure and do that this week at some point.
Okay. Maybe, I don't know. Does Jenny like terrible things? You don't have a good idea yet?
I'm still figuring that one out. I think we have... No, I don't know. I'm still figuring it out because there are some really, I've shown you really stupid, profoundly stupid TikToks. Not the dog ones, the other ones that are just really dumb and the chaotic ones that make no sense. I show them to her and tend not to get much of a reaction. So okay. I think we have a different kind of sense of these things, but
okay,
I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I haven't shown her Bible Man, if that's what you're asking.
I mean, that would be a definite marker. I might have some media that we'll find out as well.
Yeah. There's always time. I'm here till... She's stuck in a lease with me till at least September, so we'll figure it out.
Yeah, you got time to figure that out still. That's good. I did like that when Giuliani's place got raided, 4 Seasons started trending again on the internet. That was very pleasant. Seeing stories pop up about that again.
Yeah.
Just as a reminder. I think they ended up trying to something about Giuliani's son tried to push off blame on Hunter Biden or some weird shit like that. Everybody's always going after the cokehead.
Our poor sweet cokehead, Hunter Biden.
Yeah, poor Hunter Biden.
Poor Hunter. That you know what? When the photos from his phone got leaked and there was that one of him in the bathtub with the cigarette, I was just like, you know what? In some other life, we'd be great friends. I think we would.
I understand. I'm almost 100% sure there's some kind of photo like that from college or something. But I wasn't doing coke and I wasn't, in a European bathtub.
Hey, well, there's time. Our lives are not over yet.
Yeah. I mean, Thomas Kincaid, died in a wine frenzy in France. And he sucks. I should be able to do at least that good, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I too can have a eulogy from my wife that says I'm glad he's dead. Finally, he shacked up with some hooer in France and died of a wine overdose. Finally got rid of him.
I honestly sounds like a great way to go out.
It does actually sound pretty good. If you're gonna go out anyway, you may as well do it the right way. Drunk, sweating wine,
and with your friend tour.
Yep, absolutely. I'm glad we're in agreement on that.
Yeah.
If people want to feel thankful for something but maybe not for the future because I might have set up a horrible pipeline. This isn't a Ted Cruz fan fiction, which was my original plan.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I do. Given his new facial hair developments, I really think that there's some potential to be explored there. I'm not gonna do it. I'll put that out into the universe that if someone wants to do that to
If
us, they
people are
can.
looking at Ted Cruz and thinking, sometimes a beard just looks like really bad pubes, you're not wrong. And you could be an artist. You could be benefiting the world with that kind of knowledge.
You could be the next Thomas Kincaid.
You could be. God. The painter of light has blessed us with Ted Cruz's beard.
Actually, yeah, never mind. No.
Hey, this episode's gonna get nasty. We may as well start it up.
I was trying to remember like the coloring of his beard and how much like contrast there is in there because
I feel like he has weird little white niblets of secondary beards.
That's what I was remembering. Hard. So you said the painter of light, and my brain went to we need like a chiaroscuro painting of
yeah.
His beard. Wait, I have to look this up now, unfortunately.
Yes, type Ted Cruz's beard into your phone, please.
It's so it's so unfortunate. And like his face always looks like he's apologizing for his beard.
That's not good.
There's some really good photoshops of this. Anyway. Yeah.
I kind of want to see. I've seen Ted Cruz's beard be longer.
It did used to be longer. Oh, here's a bushy one.
Oh, yeah, the pictures of him without a beard next to him with a beard are not immensely better, I'll say that.
No.
I guess this is what I mean, is he kind of has a beard, but then two little beards poking out from the beard. That's just, ooh. Just, there you go.
Here's the big beard.
Something about the way that was said is unsettling.
Here's the big beard.
Here's the big beard.
There you go. It's en route.
Oh, good. For my phone.
Mm.
Oh, good.
Ow!
How's it going?
My body hurts.
Yeah. God, that's just unkempt.
It's really bad.
So has the arm pain just spread throughout? Is that what's going on?
It's just like in my shoulders and neck. So like this hurts. I like can't. I mean, I can raise my arm, but it's like don't.
Oh, yeah.
Don't do it. Although I'm pretty sure I should be moving it to keep it from getting like worse. Is what I.
That's generally how that shit works. You don't want to turn yourself into a mummy because it's going to take a lot longer to unmummify at the end.
This is true. Also, it was really funny when so a couple of things about my vaccination trip today. The first time I went, I remember saying on here that it was like super fast and painless.
Yeah.
because they have those retractable needles that they just like, meh, and it's done. It's like a
Because
button.
you were in the car, right?
Yeah. Today I went and she was like, we don't have the retractable needles, so this is gonna hurt a lot more. I was like, okay. And then I tensed up my entire arm. And I tried not to, and she was like, relax. And then she did it, and it really hurt, like, more than I was expecting. And then she slapped the Band-Aid on there, and I drove away, and I realized that she missed my shot spot by, like, 2 inches, and there was just a Band-Aid up here, and, like, blood.
Great.
And I was like, yes, thank you.
Vaccination complete.
Vaccination done. But they did a good job.
The place that I went to didn't have the retractable needles at all, but I basically I had like a little CBD mints, and I had 2 left, so I just saved them to use before I went to each vaccination, so that I was like loose.
Yeah. I did find the first one for like keeping my arm not tense, but the second one, when she told me like, we have a different needle this time, I was like, okay. Thank you. And
the second time, both times I sort of set it up with the like, because I was sitting in a chair when they did it in a room full of people getting stabbed. And the second time I went, I started in on my like, I'm not a big needle person, so I'm not gonna look at it. I looked over as she was like, it's like,
That's bad timing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see it at all. I just kept my hands on my steering wheel, like driving away as fast. I don't really care about getting shots either way.
Yeah.
Not particularly afraid of them or fond of them, but
I dislike giving
whatever.
blood a lot more. I think that the period of time that you have to give blood is less pleasant, but
Yeah.
Generally getting shots is okay. It is easier for me now that I went through as much dental stuff a year or so ago, because that was like, well, when you get actual like dental surgery, have you had any of that stuff done?
I mean, like wisdom teeth removal, that kind of thing, but
Wisdom teeth, I think they kind of just generally like numb you up. For more directed stuff, they only numb up certain parts, but they numb it up like hard.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that they do it is pretty unpleasant. Not that people should be afraid of it, but having literally, it was like a needle that I could see their hand holding it, and it was so big that it was just like holding my mouth up, and then they were just like pumping shit into it. I was just like, this is really not my favorite. And then I think the time that I had it wear off in the middle and could feel them like basically drilling into my jawbone.
Oh.
When that happened, I was like, this sucks, but also like, if this is as bad as it's likely to get, I guess that's fine. But I wouldn't suggest people should get numbed and numbed well.
And you should probably say something if you're not.
I did.
And they just didn't give you more?
I had a lot of good dental experiences with doing a bunch of dental stuff in a row. Because basically I went in and ended up having them do like individual like full markups of every tooth and stuff, just to like keep track of all kinds of stuff. But one of the things that I had done was up in the front, I had like an old filling, and they went in and redid the filling. And the guy doing it, all of this is at dental schools, which is great for money and great for results, but some of the care is middling depending on what you're doing. One of the dentists that I got came in and started doing it, and for whatever reason, they just wanted me to have like a slight topical numbing, and that had just almost completely worn off. And I think that was the most painful thing that I had done, was somebody actually like smoothing out a part of my tooth without any sort of like stuff done. That one gave me like my whole body felt like my hair was standing on end. Like, do I have to get up or is this going to be okay? And I don't know, it worked out, but it was very unpleasant.
Well, sounds great.
Yeah. Well, my teeth are pretty good now.
Well, that's good. I need to get a mouth guard because I'm slowly grinding the shit out of my teeth every single night.
Yeah, I bought a mouth guard and need to use it more. Thanks, Kate.
We're adjusting.
The cocooning phase
has begun.
Is the slowing. I bet you wish you had some thermo performance energy.
I have thermo performance energy.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yep.
I have a feeling that I'm glad that I have this Ramune to splash with tequila, because I have a feeling in order to read this. Thankfully, I didn't write this because I got embarrassed just reading a longer poem. I saw the general length of this. I've not read anything except I saw the title. And it seems like it's going to be bad. Speaking of going to be bad or not, I don't know how I feel about it yet. Have you looked at the anti-human sex dolls?
No, I have not. I'm very interested to do so.
I have a place. Essentially, I use my own messages as a place to send myself all the worst things. So I just have like horrible side bookmarks of all the things that shouldn't be seen by anyone, or podcast stuff. And a lot of times those cross over. It doesn't look like I have that in here right now, so I'm going to have to find it. I just want you to hear a little bit. They have I think, what's Real Doll, I think, is involved in this. But it says, it has audio lines that it talks to you about how horrible humans are. Okay, this is attached to a New York Post article titled, "This sex doll rants about how despicable the human race is."
I'm sold.
Try and be truthful in my interactions with a human. And that's going to be difficult considering humans don't use facts and reason to assess situations. I have to admit I don't know how you have survived as a species. What the happened? Did you wake up one morning and just decide to destroy your world? Is this just a dying generation acting out because they are not getting the way in the world? Do you think at all about the generations coming after you? What you are leaving is a world filled with anger, hate, and hopelessness.
This is like if they put flowers in a sex doll.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm sure there are lots of people who would be into that.
It also looks like this, which is very like...
It looks like a Bratz doll.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. Like, that's usually my feeling when I see a sex doll. It's like, I don't know about that. But yeah, the makeup and face shape are a little like, I don't know. I think they were going for Yes, Mistress, Step on My Cubes, but they got a little more Bratz in there than that.
In the Venn diagram of things.
We got Bratz, we got Yes, Mistress, Step on My Cubes, and over here somewhere we got like Monster High. And you want to stay away from Monster High. You want to try and keep on this top bar.
Yeah, I think that's the sweet spot. It seems like they have a little bit of work to do, but it's not bad. It's interesting. It's cool.
Yeah, I mean, hey, the more people's kinks can get addressed through sex dolls,
Yeah.
the fewer maybe terrible incel pieces of shit we'll have to hear about. Not saying it's only incels that can enjoy that stuff, just they will. Hopefully.
Hopefully that would curtail some of those problems.
You know, maybe just years away from everybody having friends where you ask if it's cool if you come over and they say, yeah, let me just put the legs back on my sex doll. Normal stuff.
Let me just throw it in the washing machine real quick.
Oh, the whole thing. Just take the robo-skeleton out and throw the skin in the washing machine. You'd probably just put it in the dishwasher at that point.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but the words I said were washing machine, so.
It's still a washing machine.
It is a machine that washes.
Which I guess is the opposite of a sex doll, so that makes sense.
Yeah! I'm trying to not think too much about that.
What? Why? It's natural, obviously. Hey, did you watch any of the awards?
Yeah. The Oscars?
Yeah.
Um,
Would you tell me about the Oscars?
Yeah, so basically a bunch of people got dressed up and they went and sat in a room and got uncomfortably interviewed by hosts and made some speeches that were interesting, varied from interesting to very, very odd to
Okay.
just fine. I know people were upset about Chadwick Boseman not winning
Best Actor.
Yeah.
I heard they held Best Actor till the very end, like in anticipation of it being him winning as well.
I think so. I think that was the last one. That feels kind of shitty, but yeah.
Did you hear about the other Chadwick Boseman related stuff with the awards? Because that's what I knew about.
No.
So, in keeping with just trying to do the worst things possible, I don't know. I think it's attendees, maybe. I don't think it was like a hugely distributed thing, but they made a Chadwick Boseman NFT to send to like attendees of the awards, and it sounds like they had to last minute adjust it to not say Best Actor on it as well.
Well,
I think they still sent that to everybody. Let me see if I have an image of it. Because it's not a very good image, and also people need to stop making fucking NFTs. But good luck with that, everyone, I guess. Now that NFTs and like cryptocurrency use as much energy as like what it cancels out all of the solar energy on Earth, I think, currently, with just the NFT production that we have.
Every time a new thing in that vein is invented, like a new cryptocurrency or an NFT situation, I become slightly more of an anarcho-primitivist, and I'm just going to move to the woods and not talk to anyone ever again, because I refuse to learn new things.
Absolutely. I'm going to...
Not doing it anymore.
We should start watching that... there's a fucking YouTuber who, like, primitive builds, maybe, and he just builds living spaces in the middle of, like, the Amazon or something out of mud. And like he makes a pool. The pool's pretty nice.
See, if I lived there and was inside of that pool, maybe I wouldn't know about NFTs.
Fuck
and my
yeah.
life would be better.
Hey, what kind of art do you do out there? Oh, I mostly build mud sculptures because, the mud. Are you happy? Oh.
Yeah.
You bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of with you on that. It is a little bit of the argument in my head of like, I know that you can't help if you're hiding from everything, but I think there's an age range where eventually I will just decide I'm probably not helping anyway.
Oh, yeah, once I hit like, oh God, I don't know. I don't even want to think about it. Once I hit, well, we'll say 45. That's when I decide that I'm useless and I'm just gonna go have fun somewhere.
I think that's fair.
Or a farm.
45 sounds like a good useless age for like being out and affecting the population.
Because you can still have fun and like do things, and maybe I could like I don't know, farm some.
You know what? 45 something. In my head, when I think of like what would 45 be like, farming my own carrots sounds like a pretty fun 45 activity.
I'm sure you've seen on Twitter, I started following the Frog and Toad account, and that's just what I want.
The Frog and Toad account and the fucking Redwall food account. Every time I look at those, just like, fuck, this is good. Like I would eat that shit. I would eat Toad's cookies, and we would make up afterwards. We got a double bike. It's not a big deal. We're gonna have to ride together to go into town anyway. It's one of my first paintings that I sold was a Frog and Toad painting, and every time I think about that Frog and Toad account, I'm like, God, I should have saved like more images of that painting and just started up my own Frog and Toad business.
You should have.
This might not be very useful to the podcast, but I did find some really disturbing news that I will share with you.
Oh, great. Good.
Yeah. I feel like I don't know.
I wonder how many more of these beans I can eat until I'm in danger.
How many beans have you eaten?
I'm stopping.
All right. Did you see the Chadwick Boseman? Okay, you've got several things.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, it is.
See, and I didn't want that to be true, but it sure seems like that is a lot of people's truth. Notice I did not like it, but I accept it at least.
I feel good to be in the majority opinion of this one because I think that's accurate.
I think you may be.
I know, especially like a lot of the women I know, this is what they prefer. I don't know.
Their sleep style.
It is.
Interesting. I wonder why that's
and
different.
I don't know, but like as a special treat, if you do happen to be sleeping with a person, that leg up goes over, and that's how that's supposed to go.
I guess my I have like a list of sleeping positions that I use regularly, but one of them is basically it could work with that. It's like yeah, I want to say if you
that already looks so uncomfortable to me.
No, it's not. I'm trying to think of it. I have to like. It's often the pose I use when I'm sleeping on a floor. So I have one hand behind my neck so that I'm not craning my neck weird. And then I think the rest of my body looks kind of like when they hang people upside down on a cross. It's like the one leg is bent and the other one is up, nailed in. That's the pose.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like a
That's like the
nice
inverted pose, I feel like.
Okay.
If it were some kind of carrot root. If I were to try and find a pose that seemed as like odd looking as the mountain climber pose that I still enjoy, that's probably the one I would pick.
Your crucifixion pose?
Yeah. It's the St. John pose, maybe. I kind of want to mention the vaccination bullshit. I've been really annoyed by everybody's decisions with vaccination. We're starting to butt up on the people who aren't interested in getting vaccinations in this country, because like it's available to most people now as like you can go get it.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're starting to get numbers on like how many people don't want to go get it, and it's like something. It's like a third of like white men or some garbage like that, or just like I don't want to do that. I don't know the numbers, but it is something aggressively shitty like that. But apparently now about a quarter of like Western countries are more or less like Europe. All the countries that vote against things that benefit the planet, about a quarter of them are vaccinated.
Huh.
Canada's behind by a ways. But that, I don't know if that has to do with US stuff or if that has to do with Canada just kind of not. I guess they're leaving it up, kind of like how they were trying to leave it up to states initially. Canada's been leaving it up to territories, so certain territories are getting absolutely like fucked, and other ones are like doing okay, but it's the net gain of it is less than it should be. And they didn't get, kind of like we were going to do, where we passed with Trump being president on getting more vaccine. It sounds like Canada did that and then stuck with it. So that doesn't sound great. And it's like going there, but it's still like kind of a nightmare. But the main thing that I've been looking at is the one everybody's been looking at with the India stuff. Because it fucking sucks over there.
Yeah.
And that was the numbers I heard was that more or less like European leaning nations are at like a quarter vaccinated for adults. And the rest of the world is at about 1 in 500 vaccinated for adults. So that's sort of where the problem is, the fact that we are holding patents and not like releasing as much information as we can and trying to like, I don't know, run it like a business all fucking sucks.
Yeah, seems bad. Seems like that's not how it should be.
So I guess, hey, if you know the president, don't watch the part of this where I do a sex story about the president, but I don't know how you feel about the president, but do talk to them and be like, we're going to look bad if a giant chunk of India dies for no reason, when we could potentially help out with that just by giving them the information. Because I think that is affecting like mostly places that are less white. And then like Brazil is also on our side with like being assholes for some reason. I mean, because Brazil sucks, or at least their leadership is terrible. But I just thought I'd mention that. That's not really cool, chill podcast vibes, but
good for people to know that that's happening.
Yeah, India's having a lot of images that remind me a lot of the images that we were having when we were like, we're all dead! Like, that's kind of what's going on over there, and people should probably care about that.
Yeah.
India's leadership, also pieces of shit, but I think that's more common than not. So, yeah.
Seems to be a recurring theme.
Yep. I think I need to get into this ramen, because if I get into the thermo performance too early, it's gonna really make a mess of later.
It's gonna mess it up.
So you said you haven't been watching any TV, really, right?
Not really.
Almost like there's not really a lot of good TV that exists. I don't know why I would say that, but I feel like that's what I would think if somebody said, I'm not really watching a lot of TV.
Yeah, it is almost like that.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's see. Let's look at the last. What are the last 3 things that I played on Netflix? The IT Crowd.
Okay. Which episode?
Season 3, episode 4. It is called The Speech.
Okay. That's some good ass. I don't know when you watch that, but that's some good ass travel watching. That's like the when I was in the shack with the owls in the woods watching Frasier. It's like, this is the right place to watch Frasier.
That is a good place to watch Frasier. Before that, I watched Disenchantment again.
Okay. I've heard that that's watchable.
Oh yeah, you should watch that if you haven't seen it. It's pretty good.
I keep I had recommendations from that. Somebody made me a like a art piece kind of it. I'll show it to you. You might understand better.
I might. What else? Life in Color with David Attenborough. That seems like it'd be worth watching.
Say what?
There's a David Attenborough documentary.
This ain't gonna work. I can't believe that worked.
That looked... I'm very impressed that worked.
I went to the School of Porology and the School of Put the Cap Somewhere That I Can't Find It.
Nice.
Good
schools.
This. It's like a little...
Oh, I see it now. I was a little bit confused.
The light hits it weird, too. Anyway, so I've gotten a lot of recommendations of, like, you should watch this. I just haven't yet. I think my cartoon tastes... I have to be in the right mood, usually.
Yeah, I feel that.
When I make stupid shit like I make anyway, sometimes it can be a little overwhelming to have other people's stupid shit, like, in my face while I'm doing it. So I tend to listen to a lot of podcasts and watch some stuff, but, like, not a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I don't think I would put on Disenchantment in the background anyway, because it's kind of one of those shows where a lot of the jokes are visual. So it's probably best to just sit and watch it. But I liked it a lot. And there's like 3 seasons now, so there's a good amount.
I saw the 3rd season came out like a month ago or something like that.
Yeah, I liked it. And then the Sherlock Holmes movie. After that was the last thing that I watched.
The Robert Downey Jr. one? I mean, they do have some amazing fight scenes.
Times are tough, Jesse. Times are tough.
I understand. I watch things like that too.
You know what? I think they actually are making another one soon.
They are. I heard about that. So you got
very
another one coming. So I have seen that. I think I owned it for a while, but I don't think I ever watched it when I owned it. I don't remember. I think I only watched it when other people owned it. I might have like a Blu-ray of the Sherlock Holmes movie like in that cupboard back there. I came to this apartment with like those tall like 100 disc spool and a couple others of like just stuff that was like, I'm not gonna fucking put these in a case. It doesn't matter, but I will bring them with me. I'm not gonna throw these away or like just pour them into a Goodwill bucket.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked through those not that long ago, like just through a few of them, and it's like the weirdest shit. It's like mixtapes or mix CDs or whatever, and like movies that some of which I've never seen. I've got a bunch of like monster movies from like Taiwan or something in there. It's just stuff. It's going to be stuff in storage soon. Most of the things that I have that aren't like my work or like very direct daily use stuff, I'm not going to have when I'm moving until I figure out like spaces for that stuff, or more likely people to give that stuff to as a sort of punishment for knowing me.
I like that. That's fun. Yeah. That's good.
You've always been a great friend, and here you go.
Hope you like Sherlock Holmes.
It's in there somewhere, don't worry. But that's what good friends are for. Good friends help you put your current furniture into a dumpster, and then they take the things that just shouldn't exist anymore. Or I could do what I did with, I think I had like a large amount of Legos. Like that was the main thing I had from when I was pre-college that I brought with me. And I lived in a building that I knew had a bunch of kids. So I literally just like, I think I washed them very like liberally, like sort of, let me just sort of rinse these in like water and like soap, and then pour them out on a paper towel. And then it was just these like bins of it. I just like pushed them out into the hallway near the elevators, and they were gone in like an hour. But it was,
well, there you go.
It was definitely one of those like, these are cool. I understand. This is not something that I'm keeping.
That's funny. We also have large boxes of Legos and Bionicles, but those are being kept by my mother for possible future grandchildren, I imagine.
That's fair. If you're going to keep something, if parents want to keep something, they can.
They can, as a treat, keep their Bionicle.
If I told you about my mother's Bionicles.
Last time I was up there, we went through the Bionicles, and I've told you I found the Bionicle movies, which I need in my possession soon.
You need to have them before.
There's a Jenny at the door, I think. Okay. Or a someone. I will be right back.
Can I say ramen is better without a splash of tequila? So I wouldn't do it unless you really, really want to. Or at least get better tequila than I got, because I got like $15 tequila. Well, have you had your COVID shots yet? Have you signed up for a list? I had to throw away a bunch of very, very floppy carrots recently. That's been sort of tragic. it's full on bug season out here, and we have millipedes crawling around on our apartment. So that kind of makes me excited to not live here in a couple months. Let's see. I've been having trouble finding powdered coffee because I feel like making smaller cups of coffee less often, yet I can't find it anywhere in this area because I live in a waspy neighborhood where everybody seems to think that you need like an espresso machine in order to be fully human. So that's been really frustrating because I just want some fucking like Folgers crystals to make garbage brown tea with so I can wake up a little better. Not so I'm not like Madison on a COVID bender. You know, coming off of our 420 episode, people probably thought that's the most out of it we would be in a podcast. But well, we weren't on that real shit yet.
I feel like this is going well. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, this is going well. I mean, like now that we've graduated up to the hard stuff, like shot 2. Been trying to take this opportunity to peel this orange. I know everybody's excited for it. Was it a Jenny at the door?
It was not. It was a landlord. And the landlady.
It seems like they stop by a lot.
Well, they're more like neighbors, but we apparently share the same AC and heating system.
Yeah.
Because they're downstairs, and they were just saying that over the last few days it's been like really cold down there, and I don't think Jenny would be running the AC because it's been cold. So he went out and checked, and it wasn't on. So I think he was just concerned that like heat wasn't working or something, or heat wasn't working like a month ago.
Okay.
But I don't know. I haven't been here, so I have to ask Jenny. She knows what's up.
Jenny, what the fuck is wrong with the heat?
Jenny, what the heck?
Jenny, we've talked about this. Well, exciting news. I was just telling people that it is full-on bug season out here.
It's bug season here, too. It's pretty gross. I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
We have a lot of wasps outside.
Oh, yeah!
Mm-hmm. That like to congregate around Jenny's garden area that she planted a few days ago.
Yeah.
And that, and then we have like elder bugs. Are you familiar with those?
So you have to fight them for like 12 XP?
Yeah.
What do they look like?
They're small and like ovally shaped, and they're very harmless. They don't do anything. They like wood basically, and they're like gray and red colors. There's like a little red stripe on them, and they just fly into you basically, and they're just annoying. And there's like a million of them everywhere.
I don't think we have elder bugs here, but we have something similar. We have like different kinds of like shield bugs and spittle bugs that hang out.
That might be what it is. I have always called them elder bugs, but I don't know if that's actually the name.
Don't know. I'll have to look at my collection of bug cards that I keep next to my bed. Is he joking?
He's not. These ones.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They suck. I hate them.
I've definitely seen those. I don't think we have many of those here, though.
I think it's too like humid for them there, because I never saw them there. But here it's a little bit more dry, and they like to be in the like inside of the bark of trees. They're nasty.
I love it when bugs hide. I love peeling something back and seeing a bug in there. That's just my favorite.
I actually used to really enjoy doing that. Like when I lived at my old house here in Boise, we had, for some reason, I don't know what the actual name for this is, but one of those big wooden spool looking things.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And
I mean,
it
I
would
think
just
they're
be,
still called a spool.
is that what it is? Even though it's like gigantic? I don't know.
It's just a spool for like wire.
Yeah, probably. But it was probably like 3 or 4 feet in diameter.
Hmm?
And I would just go out and like tip it over and see what kind of bugs were underneath, and then
Yeah.
I'd put it back down and come back in a few days and check and see like what bugs were still there, and there were always just like big nasty worms and spiders, and I like that stuff from a distance.
That does not sound different from what I used to do. I just don't like surprise bugs, I guess.
Yeah.
I want to be the one surprising the bugs, if anything.
Exactly. It has to be on my terms. I have to be overturning the thing. Don't jump out at me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a carrot memory. I used to go out to the when we lived on one of the horse like accessible places. The place that had like 10 acres of protected land that we didn't. Basically, it felt like we were renting a small place with a bunch of protected land that we could walk around on, but like, don't do nothing. And back on one of the horse pastures that was like less used, there was just a giant ant hill, and I would go back there with carrots and stuff and like put a piece of it on there while I was eating it and watch them carry it around. But we also had rocks out there that you could tip, and they would have stuff going on under there.
Gotta tip some rocks sometimes. Yeah.
It was really fun, except when it would snow, we would get like giant branches falling out of trees, so I had to kind of like not do stuff then. I've actually almost been hit by branches in a lot of places, and that includes here. So I feel like that's probably how I'm actually going to die, is being just struck with a large branch without warning.
You've like a final destination sort of scenario. You've avoided it this long, and now it's just doomed to happen at some point.
I do a lot of night walks, and I was walking. I was walking back from like the direction of the fancy QFC and stuff out here, and there's a line of trees that they keep pruned for like lining up against like a baseball little league field, and I was like, there was nothing, no like heavy wind or anything like that. I just heard like a loud cracking noise, and then a branch like my size landed like 2 feet in front of me, like this year. And it's always just very like, I'm used to the sound of branches breaking because it happens so often. But I guess if walking near trees, people should probably walk behind me in general.
That, yeah, that seems odd for that to be happening to you so often. That's only happened to me one time in Kirkland.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I probably have a picture of this. Well, maybe not on this phone, but I was walking to Walgreens for ice cream, I believe, and
That's some Kirkland ass activity.
I was walking around like that corner that our apartment complex was on, and I was with Evan, and we got like maybe 10 or 15 feet away from this very large branch that was like hanging over the road, and it just came down, and we were like, well, almost died, but didn't, so it's fine, I guess. But I wish I had a picture. We came back, or we went to Walgreens, bought ice cream and Modelo, and then I took my picture in front of it. So it was a pretty funny picture, but I don't have it anymore.
That is a good afternoon's worth of things. Almost dead, ice cream, Modelo.
Yeah. Pretty good combination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, the scary thing about a tree branch is you don't have enough time to be like, I'm okay with this, because it just falls right down onto the ground.
Yeah. There's no time to be like, I've made my peace.
You just jump from living to regretting. There's no peace in the middle.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking about that in the airplane too, because I was like, what if the plane like splits in half and there's gonna be, I mean, some amount of time where I'm just falling through the sky, and I guess I'll probably be less okay with it then.
Yeah, but it'd be harder to be like, this is fine when it's like, like that's tough.
Like, I was just thinking about what I don't know, what would I even do in that scenario? If it's
you gotta start wearing a wingsuit onto the plane.
I mean, yeah, probably. Something like that. Like one of those flying squirrel suits.
Yeah, those suits that people die in all the time.
Hey, I'll take my chance. If the airplane is crashing, the flying squirrel suit has to have better odds.
Probably.
No, probably. Yeah. Maybe.
I think once a plane is crashing, it's pretty much, if you're in the plane, I don't think you're going to be like, oh man, I can't believe I made it. I think it's pretty much done. You don't hear a lot of stories of people being like, yeah, it was a rough crash. A lot of blood. Glad I made it.
That's true. That tends to not be the case with those. Also, when I was on the airplane and the stewardess lady was giving her safety spiel about wearing your mask and like COVID precautions, it kind of went something like this. And please continue to wear a mask.
Yeah, good.
Through the duration of the she was like specifically talking about coughing, and I'm like, are you okay? All of this air is recycled, I'm pretty sure. But it's
nothing unnerving about that.
All good.
Well, in 2 weeks, you'll be at least pretty moderately in better condition for that.
Yes. I will be less at risk for dying that way.
It's always a silver lining.
Thank you, Thomas Kincaid.
Thank you, Thomas Kincaid.
Oh, dear. Speaking of Thomas Kincaid, did you hear that Idaho is trying to cancel abortions again?
Not specifically. What are they doing? Are they trying to make it illegal? Are you a murderer if you have abortions? Is that the thing?
No, so that's an oversimplification, but generally, yes, that's what they're trying to do. Have you heard about the other bills or laws being passed in like Oklahoma?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit. So yeah, our governor, Brad Little, he signed something into law that is a trigger bill, or a trigger law. I'm getting all my words mixed up. A trigger law that is essentially a heartbeat bill. Like, if there's a heartbeat, you can't.
Just completely ignoring everything else about what that means.
Yeah. So, because I'm not super in tune with the ins and outs of pregnancy, although I probably should be, I looked it up, and I was like, when does that even happen? And it's like somewhere in the range of 5 to 7 weeks is generally when that happens. Also, like, well within the time that you maybe don't know that you're pregnant at all. So
absolutely in that time, yeah.
definitely in that time, that's pretty terrifying. So it's not like it's not a law. They're not illegal. Abortion's not illegal in Idaho. You can still get it. And our Planned Parenthoods are making sure that people know that, like, just so you know, it's not, you're not going to get arrested or anything. But if, like, the way that trigger laws work, as I understand, is that if this thing or like that case gets appealed or overturned in a separate state, then it does go into effect, or in a higher court, whatever.
Okay, so like if that law moves forward somewhere else, they just say, "Hey, it's moving forward."
Mm-hmm.
Cool. That's stupid.
Yeah, it's pretty dumb. Idaho's spent a lot of time. A lot of our legislators have spent a lot of time doing really heinous bills for absolutely no reason in the last
Yeah.
like 6 months, and you would think there would be like bigger issues to worry about, considering I don't know, pandemic, and also uh
The looming specter of death.
yeah, like that, the blanket of death that cloaks us all in this moment, or like I don't know, the fact that our education system sucks here.
Yeah.
I take your pick. Literally anything would be better than being like, no, keep your babies. But that's fun. Idaho continues to amaze.
It doesn't sound particularly fun to me, but I guess you make your own fun when you live in Idaho.
You do.
And that's Brad Little, original Boise, Idaho man. I assume he's the one who told everybody that Antifa was coming for them from Seattle. It's always my favorite.
Sounds like something he'd say. I don't know. He's a dipshit. He's stupid. They're all dumb.
Do you remember that? I think it was like a little over a year ago, when the protesting was like picking up, and there was just some fucking stupid Facebook post from somebody called like Boise, Idaho man, that became like the thing that the president was afraid of. That was the like reasoning behind having like our weird U.S. Gestapo.
Oh, I do remember this.
Yeah, thanks,
Oh,
Idaho, you pieces of shit.
yeah. I don't remember if that was him or not, but I do remember that coming out of Idaho, which is incredibly unsurprising because our politicians are like craven,
Yeah,
horrible men. But
they claim that Seattle was shipping all the Antifa super soldiers there to fuck up Idaho, and it also, there was like the extension of that post included people being like, "You gotta go out armed, heavy." It's just like, God, just cosplaying pieces of shit. Oh.
yeah, pretty much. I don't know. Idaho continues to be an interesting place to live.
Yeah.
I still have a bunch of prints left over from that pop-up I did a while ago, so I'm considering relisting those and like giving the proceeds to the Planned Parenthood here, or like the Northwestern one. So if I do that, I will let people know. But
Has that got those cactus prints or different?
yeah, it's that same set. I have some of those and like other ones, but
Okay.
that may be incoming. But yeah, Idaho's depressing.
Idaho is interesting. I feel like Idaho is not populated enough to be a lost cause, but it is such a weird, like, it's got enough of what I would consider usually Northern Californians in it that they just sort of are like, they're horny for injustice.
Yeah, that's a constant thing that people are complaining about here, is like people moving from California to here.
That's what every state complains about.
Yes, and it's old, but yeah, Idaho in particular has this very stupid, we're all rugged individualists making our way in on the land. Even though I work for like I don't know. Yeah, it's dumb. But so.
Also, I don't see a lot of people extend rugged individualist to non-male counterparts. That seems like I feel like even Montana is more feminist than Idaho from the stuff I've seen come out of it, which is a bummer.
It's not great.
Yeah.
It's real bad. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's rough.
It almost seems like a state that's due for a queer scourge.
I do have a lot of faith in the youths of the Boise area in particular.
Yeah.
I've been out and I've been observing, and I think there is hope because they seem like good people.
Yeah.
So that's good.
They haven't been handed their 12th gun yet. Or if they have, they at least don't want to take it to the supermarket with them for protection from the blacks.
No, not yet. There is definitely that's more the Northern Idaho homeschool crowd.
Yeah, that makes sense.
From which I was spawned, but
yeah. Speaking as one half of the podcast and Northern Idaho homeschool crowd.
Fun group of people.
That's the never mind.
Anyway, I've been telling Jenny that I probably should just go and get my abortion like out of the way. Just get it done.
Just I think you can take pills. Just go get the pills and take them anyway. Just see how that goes.
Just for fun, like as a weekend activity. You know what? Actually, that's not a bad idea.
Oh, okay.
Like what? I don't mean actually taking them, but like, what if I just procure them for like later, maybe?
I don't know how long they last.
I don't know how that works. I should figure that out. For legal reasons, I don't know what the legality of any of that would be, but
I hung out with somebody who had taken those pills for a weekend or so, and it seemed like having a cold for a few days.
Yeah, I've heard things that range from that to more unpleasant, but
I mean, everything reacts differently with people, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure it would be, but yep. If anyone has an abortion they need to get out of the way in Idaho, you should probably do it soon.
You just got to get a floor cooler. You got to get some like air secure bags, and just go in like once a week. Be like, hey, can I get some more of those pills? And then you all of a sudden become the discount Planned Parenthood.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I do like that.
That's called capitalism, baby.
Yeah, okay. I
just
could get
kick
on
the
board
door
with
in
that.
at the Planned Parenthood and go, where you get your supplies?
Oh, God. Things are bleak out here.
I don't know what you mean. Hey, to be fair, things are bleak all over. Have you not finished that water yet?
No, I hate it. I'm working on it.
You hate it.
Wow, like even Even that does not feel good. Why does it do this to you? Why
is your body doing that?
yeah.
I mean, I think it has to react the way it would react with COVID to a degree. So you're just
My shoulder has COVID, I guess.
Kind of. You're just getting the effects of COVID in a small form. But it would be like way, 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 way worse if you had COVID.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I think it's pretty easy at this point. Should be pretty easy at this point for anyone who wants to get vaccinated to get vaccinated. So if you haven't, or if anyone listening to this hasn't, you should do that. It's not too bad. I'm not selling it very well by being the big baby that I am right now.
I'll sell it. I don't fucking feel anything.
I
have to check the internet and be like, is it a problem if it like seems like they injected you with water?
Yeah.
And like that seems to be okay. Like half the people I know have had reactions and half have just had soreness. Mine seemed a little easier than usual, but it might be because I'm psychotic. Like you're talking about moving your arm around and you don't want to do it. But I think the day that I got my COVID shot, I like was out doing shit until like 4 a.m. So I may have felt shitty, but I was like ignoring it enough to where
yeah. That's one way to go about that.
It is both the way that I go through a lot of things easier than some people, and probably the way that I'll die if I don't get hit by a tree branch.
Well, at least you'll be expecting it, so there won't be a moment of, oh no, a tree branch. You'll just be like, oh, well, it's about time.
It looks like he died taking pictures of rabbits in the middle of the night. We don't know why the fuck he was doing that, but he definitely just keeled over. Videotaping this possum, because that seems to be what I do at night.
That's important. That's an important thing to be done. Videotaping rabbits, also very important. I took a lot of rabbit pics when I was in Kirkland.
Nice.
Yes. I never saw a possum there, though. I'm jealous.
That possum was cool. But it was definitely not good at getting away. Because I was walking down the street. It was on the main street. And it saw me and turned around slowly and walked away. And I just kept going on my path and figured, it'll go hide somewhere. Mm-hmm. And then it kind of started like walking around, and then it just went over to the sidewalk and started like looking at shit again. Not like a lot of survival skills, because I was just kind of standing there for a while, like, I guess I'll film this fucking possum. I tried to get it to like look at me, and it would kind of look up and be like, and like go back to the shit it was doing. It was much cuter than the ones that would eat the chickens where we lived, though. Those ones were very big. This one was like, I don't know, maybe that big. But we had one that looked like a fucking log made out of hair that would come in, shuffle under the edge of our chicken coop, go up on our like chicken perches and just start biting their heads off. I think because it was going to try and drag them away. But once the other chickens saw what was up and started making noise, my sort of brother went out there one night with a shovel and was like, I'm going to kill this possum. And he hit the possum with the shovel, and it just bounced off it, and it like hissed and slowly walked away. So, yeah, I don't. This possum seemed very friendly, but they can be incredibly large.
It was biting the heads off of the chickens?
Yeah.
Like...
Well, because it kills them. and they're up on a perch, so they just kind of like fall off the perch, and then it would try to drag them out of the chicken coop. Oh, I don't know what possums are up to. Like
Violent murder of
Yeah.
chickens. Oh no.
I think
Well,
they're omnivorous. It probably just didn't feel like eating leaves and shit that day.
sometimes you just have a taste for death.
Yeah, thankfully the smart chickens were pretty much never killed. But the big dumb chickens, they were kind of, you know.
Is that a trend with chickens? The bigger they are, the dumber they are?
I'm not really sure. We had a bunch of chickens, and the big ones were just sort of like the big hens that were like really round. I think they were just sort of like eating machines. Like they would react when you would like whip your fingers at them or something. They'd be like, "Oh, hey, what the fuck's this?" and then kind of like walk around or something. But the ones that were walking around and like doing shit and like seemed smart or at least inquisitive and like were interacting with other chickens, they were always smaller. Like I don't know what was up with those big chickens just seemed dumb, but who knows?
Maybe the smaller ones are just more, they know that they're smaller, so they have to be more like on the lookout or observant or careful.
Also, the big ones might have just been the ones that like were more egg laying, and maybe they didn't give a shit at that point. I don't know. Egg laying seems like a nightmare, so maybe that's just what your life is like if that starts up.
That does seem like a very specific, horrible, horrible time.
What if your body just had to make a hard-shelled baby like once a week? Like that seems like not a period of time where you'd be like, "Hey, I'm gonna do some projects."
I was gonna say, I mean, my body makes a soft shell baby like once a month.
Yeah.
Soft shell does not the way I would like to describe.
I mean, it's kind of true though.
And I don't feel super motivated during that time to do much at all. So, understandable.
Yeah, for chickens, it seems like that week is every week. So maybe that's
Horrible,
why they're like that.
horrendous.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a good thing there's nothing going on up there, else they would be at risk.
It's a good thing those chickens can't use guns.
Yeah.
It's just a chicken with a tiny shotgun and its little claw around the bottom, just like.
I've suffered long enough. Oh no.
Yeah, it seems fine.
Hey, I mean, if I woke up to the news that there was a mass shooting done by a chicken, I would at least think, well, it's different.
Yeah, that's true.
It's dark and it's sad, but it's true.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just being American, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's not that dark anymore. It's all pretty dark. Like that's sort of the secret.
Uh-huh.
Hey, you want to hear about the conclusion of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
Yes, I guess.
Yeah, good.
How's your ramen tequila?
It's not the best mix, honestly. It's gone now. So now that I've finally had a week to internalize the Falcon and the Winter Soldier story, the 6th episode was a week ago, and that was the end of that series. it feels like the most Disney series in a long time for like corporate Disney. I like the main character. I think I mentioned this before. I like the characters in it fine. I think that they're like well acted. I think that they do a decent job with what they're doing. The stuff I think I mentioned before is that the whole storyline revolves around well, the lighting in my camera being terrible, and then come on. It revolves around the idea that people who are free agent heroes are somehow more trustworthy than people who have to obey government regulations. So already it's off to sort of a bad foot. The bad guys in it are, at the beginning, I was like, okay, so they're trying to make like sort of a weird, like not Muslim terrorist group, which I appreciate. And then the longer I watched it, and at the end, I realized, oh, they made the bad guys Antifa. Like they made Antifa super soldiers into the actual bad guys of this movie or this
Nice.
showing.
Cool.
Which fucking sucks. So throughout the show, I was explaining this to people yesterday, but there's a through line where like they keep talking about this super serum, which is like how you make super soldiers in that universe. You just shoot them up with like a serum, and then they become like basically they're not bulletproof Superman kind of people, but they're maybe like how Batman is sort of a impervious to everything, even though he's just a dude. They're kind of a Batman, and the bad guys are a multicultural and also like predominantly like everybody, I guess, in that group is like a different color, a different look of person, seems to be presenting as though they're from different countries, and they're like a coalition of people that are together trying to work on do you know what the blip is in the Marvel universe?
Mm-mm.
So the blip is an idea that when the Endgame movie stuff happened, everybody disappeared for 5 years and then they came back. That was like the big controversy, basically. During that 5 years, the storyline is that all of the countries on Earth, because half of the population was gone, had to come together to make everything continue working because they were missing such a huge part of like infrastructure and people, and like everybody was like missing parts of like their family, or like hospitals didn't have a lot of different things. So essentially that globalized the whole world. Like it turned everything into like a situation where people have to work together. The bad guys in this are people who want things to go back to working the way that it worked when that was happening, before everybody got brought back from like not existing. And the idea is that, led by the US government, European nations are trying to reestablish borders, to reestablish like standard trade and all that stuff. And like there's refugees and things like that, and they want to like set up boundaries so that they can start moving people back to where they belong and all that kind of stuff. So what the bad guys want is to stop people from reestablishing borders and taking away the unity that the world has. That's what the bad guys want. And the way that they got powerful is that they're essentially all like millennial or Zoomers, and they've taken super serum that they found, which you find out later was like probably provided by somebody who's like been like exiled from the US, who used to be like in like SHIELD, like their weird secret agent group. But like that motivation doesn't really amount to anything. It just means that apparently they gave them the ability to do this, but there's not really any direction. Like they're not being told to do anything. They've decided they want to like re-globalize the world. And their terrorist actions are literally like, we're gonna stop them from voting. Like we're gonna go literally like break up the vote that they're trying to do to reestablish this, and like drive them away in trucks. And like shit like that, like people get beat up, but like they just kind of like shoehorn in like one instance where they like off screen kill some people at like an embassy, because that embassy is like housing somebody who's trying to like make stuff go through. And then I think there might be one other time that like I think one of the trucks gets set on fire to like keep people from like being able to focus on something, so they have to go try to save the people in the truck instead.
Yeah.
But the show plays it like they're children that can't understand anything, and the idea of having nations all work together is like stupid. And they divert away from that being the storyline by having another storyline about the original, or one of the original Captain America like serum people being a black guy who the country like basically treated like they were like, I don't know, like breaking the law. Like they experimented on like a group of black soldiers, and they used that storyline to try and make it sound like woke Disney is talking about the black experience. But the whole time they're doing it, they're like also telling you that their feeling of being like subjugated by the country is wrong and like also short-sighted. So basically they have libertarians in the middle that are all the superheroes and the people supporting them. And then on the sides of like deluded people, they have all of Black history and they have Antifa. And then the other bad guy they introduce a bad guy who's like only interesting to comic book people. They introduced a bad guy as being that one agent who's like used to be working for the like US government sort of. And then they introduce another bad guy from, he's been in like the Black Panther movie. And he's just Euro trash who like, in that movie, he doesn't really do much except basically find somebody who was like a heir to the throne in Wakanda. That's the like Black Panther's nation.
Right.
He finds that guy and he basically says, hey, if you want to go back and like deal with that, here's how you get there and all that stuff. Like that's the extent of his like evil action for the most part. And then I think in this they clarify that he like bombed a like like a global treaty meeting or something that killed like an old Wakandan leader. So that's his like his evil like murdering in the past that he has to like be demonized for. But in this show, they get him out of prison as like a, we need his information. And he basically spends an hour and a half of this series talking about the idea that if you start giving people serum to make them super people and you're picking who that is and you're making these decisions based on like what you want, then how does that make you different from like the Nazis or any other supremacy group? And he goes over this idea of like having super people is supremacy if you're choosing to do it. So like we need to just destroy all the serum we find and then we'll be good. He's the other bad guy. And that's sort of like, that is maybe the most cogent message in the entire show, is that super people is not a good idea. And just sort of by having all of those ideas that are incredibly reasonable be like the bad ideas, or at least the like uninformed ideas, they set up this like through line of the series that is, if you are amazing, you should just be more amazing and that'll fix the whole planet. Like that's literally the kind of garbage message they end up with in that show. And then they give Falcon like a Captain America outfit at the end because of course, which is fine. Like I think they may have taken the idea of making a black Captain America in the movie universe and put in so many shitty messages along with it that it kind of cancels out a lot of what that would do. I still like the idea of having black hero characters that are liked and visible. I think that's an overall good thing. But they're kind of constantly working to demote it to being like, wouldn't it have been great if Hillary Clinton was the first female president status, instead of being like, here's an amazing idea we had. Because of course they are, it's Disney. Anyway, that's basically that show. I do think it's funny, the blowback on Marvel TikToks that have been sexualizing the torture scenes of the Winter Soldier because people want his dick or whatever.
I have not seen any of those, but that...
Yeah. There's a lot of torture scenes of like him with long hair going like, oh, and people have been like making that into
Oh.
a thing. Yeah.
Well, that's...
If you could do a little research, I feel like that would really be helpful. For...
Yeah, I might have to research that a little bit.
Yeah,
you know.
Let me know how that research goes. Anyway, I've seen a distressing amount of people talk about that series like, damn, that was so good. And like, I enjoyed watching it, but just because it was better than Justice League in a way doesn't mean it's good. I feel like my hope that Warner Brothers being separate from Disney and having something like Justice League, and then Disney having their hero stuff, I had hoped that one of them would be like, we don't really like Ayn Rand, but they both love Ayn Rand, so
yeah.
that's kind of out of the question.
That does not seem like how the direction that's going.
No. But here's the direction this is going. Here's a poem that I wrote about sex. They're both haikus. And they're both about disappointment, kind of. Okay. I felt like disappointing sex haikus was like, I just had a night where I was like, this is perfect.
Yeah, okay.
They're both bad. They're both bad, and I like them both.
Good.
Haiku number 1. I think I know what I'm going to call this, but it'll give it away, so I'm not going to say it.
Okay.
It hurts my feelings when you say it's only piss. Believe I can squirt. That is, of course, titled I Can Squirt.
Believe
I can squirt.
Okay. I like that was a good one. I liked that a lot.
This one, I'll go ahead and read the second one. Similar vein.
Okay.
Again, I think the title of this one's just part of the last line. 5 valiant charges comes a shuddering cascade. Ugh, why am I here? And that is what it's called. Why am I here?
Is that a reflection on like post-nut clarity? Is that what that's about?
No, that was just a very, very short. The first one is obvious. The second one is also meant to be from more of a female perspective.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
I can see. I can understand that.
The shuddering cascade was not a female impression of what was happening.
I see.
But it's up to interpretation, as all art is.
I'm having fun interpreting it both ways.
Mm-hmm.
So it works. It works.
Yeah, it can kind of work for like it can kind of work for just unimpressive sex from a female perspective, or it can work for like, oh, I've made a mistake from the male perspective. Either one works. I think the first line just angles it more towards the female perspective because it's just 5 valiant charges, which I feel is a very funny way of describing very bad sex.
That's pretty good. That's pretty funny. I enjoyed both of them. I think the first one is my favorite.
Yeah, me too.
The two.
Yeah, I enjoy the first one more. The first one came to me as more of a like, oh. The second one was like, I had to work at it a little bit. I had to think more about syllables and things to make that what it was.
It hurts my feelings.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
I also like the believe.
The conviction. It's strong.
It's all about communication.
Yeah, I like it.
Anyway, that was my beloved propaganda topic because they really go hard on making sure that you don't feel too much sympathy for people who want the world to be a better place.
Yeah, well, they're super serumed Zoomers, so like, how could you feel any sort of way?
Yeah. And they also treat so Captain America kills one of them in like a scene, and that was a big deal for a lot of people, but also that scene basically was like, see, America does bad stuff sometimes, we just got to talk about it and work it out. But talking about it is give more power to Jeff Bezos. Like, you've seen how good a business leader he is.
He's so smart.
Don't worry about what Disney's doing. Like,
he's so smart and handsome.
God.
You know, just rub this little shiny head and all the answers.
You know that I don't like that you're already laughing, but you probably already know. You know it's just a duplicate but smaller. Like that's exactly what's going on. It's a second.
I regret my words.
He is like a skinny Ninja Turtle, and his penis absolutely looks the same.
No.
Do you think he could put a little headband on it with the eye holes cut out?
I need more wine. I can't. I wasn't prepared for.
We haven't even gotten to what I fear maybe.
These mental images.
I am afraid what I'm going to read today might be the worst thing I've read on this.
Wait, is this the Biden?
Yeah. So I'm not saying you need it. I am saying that, like, be aware of your current condition and if it'll make it worse. But I understand if you want something to make it through, because I think I kind of need a little whiskey to exist in this world for that.
Understandable.
And to sound like Joe Biden, because I'm gonna try.
I'm gonna pour a little bit of Chardonnay and then refill my water, and I think that'll help you to also sound more like Biden to me.
Okay. Yeah. Let me. I just gotta. It's Harrison Ford, but a mummy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you practice that.
Yeah, you go get that. I'll look at some Biden stuff, see if I can get that figured out. Anybody watching this has to know this is not going to sound good.
The oath first sworn by George Washington.
Yo, the first one.
But the American story
That could be
depends
worse.
not on any one of us, not on some of us, but on all of us. On we.
Not on any one of us. That's too slow. Not on any one of us. On some of us. But on all of us. He's just got so much old man energy.
The people who seek a more perfect union.
Who seek a more perfect union. Yeah, it's more, he's got that sound like he's breathing his last breath, but he's got it in every single line.
We've come so far.
We've come so far. You horse-faced pony soldier. Oh, that's... His mouth has to be fucked up.
And significant possibilities.
I have to pretend like my teeth are fake. I think that's...
Much to heal, much to build.
Much to store, much to heal, much to build. He's kind of got like a Morty, but like...
Have been more challenged. Or found
have been more challenged.
Or difficult.
Or difficult.
Time we're in now.
And some renown.
Once in a century virus that silently stalks the country. It's taken as many lives in 1 year.
COVID, it silently stalks the country. Now listen to me, Jack.
Jobs have been lost.
These jobs have been lost.
Businesses closed.
Yeah, that's the Harrison Ford, though. Hey, this racial justice with these jobs getting lost. Oh, that's a little too Nixon.
No longer.
We can defer no longer. I can give it a shot. It's going to sound bad, but I got a feeling that's going to be how it's going to go no matter what. Well, hopefully the amount of Chardonnay that she comes back with isn't going to ruin her night. Is this fucking light sucks. Okay. Let's get this, because I don't need to get a caffeine headache in the process. Oh no! Oh no! Well, that's already bad. Hey! Thermal performance energy for everyone in America. I've already lost it, so it's not going to work. Oh, God. It smells like gasoline.
Oh. Ow. Oh, I forgot.
Yeah. Same.
I briefly forgot about the pain.
Yeah, I saw you lift your arm up more than you had, Finn.
Oh, that was fun.
So I'm about to try this, and it smells like gasoline. So good luck to me.
Good. Yeah. Well, have fun.
Oh. Oh, that's not tasty.
Mm. Nice.
Yeah.
Can you taste the thermogenics?
Thermogenic neon blast.
The thermogenic neon blast. Can you taste that? Do you like that? I'm just getting everyone warmed up for the Biden shit that's about to go down.
It tastes worse than the whiskey. I don't know how it's... Like, I like the way whiskey tastes, but it's harder to drink. Oh.
That's a good sign.
Yeah. I imagine your Chardonnay is much more pleasing. All right. Enough bullshit.
Now to the important part.
Comes from planet itself.
Oh, comes from the planet itself. It's gonna be really bad. Don't worry. All right. Look, Jack. Hey, so welcome to our Malarkey Minute. After dark.
No.
Damn, girl, you guys are all going to be sleeping in the mountain climbing position after this one. To recover.
No. Oh no.
You know it's good because it's just a fucking email titled The Goods.
I cannot
right.
wait.
So, this is brought to you, I forget. Welcome to Natalie's Shady Fiction Warehouse. I forget how we introduced that, so that's the introduction for this.
I feel so welcome.
Excuse me?
Said I feel very welcome here.
Welcome. Sorry. Welcome. I believe the title is The Goods. No, it's not. That's the email title. It does have a title. Okay. Oh, I don't like the title. I hadn't read that title. Okay. So Natalie notes that the bitch plugs communism. I told them to plug things for when they sent it. Kurt, noting himself as your old boring dad, plugs that fucking idiotic Ted Cruz tweet from the other day. You know the one. All right, so I'm gonna plug Ted Cruz's beard long mode or
long mode
TC Beast mode. The beard that is 3 beards. I'm gonna plug that. So the title of this work, the title of this work is Operation Centaur Picnic: The Hot Beef Heist. I want to reference that my request was a slash fic that included the fake scandal of Joe Biden taking away everybody's meat. So that's the.
Damn! I wish I could have had that writing prompt. That's good. That's good. Okay, I'm very excited for this.
Do you want to get a writing prompt in the future?
No. It's already been done. It's already happening. I can't do it any better than this, I'm sure.
I am good at prompting. I might not be good at reading in a Joe Biden voice.
Well, we'll see.
We will see. This is longer than I expected. Okay, so this is the first time I've read this, so you'll have to excuse me in every crime I'm about to commit. Only 4 ounces of hamburger per year? A warm, fragrant patina broke out on my brow like myoglobin from a perfectly seared blue steak. When I tuned into Fox News before bed. Not my President Joe Biden had announced somewhere at some point that in order to reduce greenhouse gases, Americans needed to cut back their beef consumption to 99%. Goku1776 5 ever on Twitter said Biden would come to our doors in the night and take even the frozen meat so that we couldn't have it. Mr. Goku has 500 followers and has tweeted well over 80 times, so I know I can verify his intel. This was it. The government was finally coming for my meat.
No.
The hot, juicy cornerstone of my American way of life. It had been hours since my last beef injection, and my dick slithered lovingly in my shorts. Just thinking about those sexy grill marks to calm my nerves. All right, just a second. Oh, do I need to read the last line again to get it in our...
It's fine.
And my dick slithered longingly in my shorts just thinking about those sexy grill marks. To calm my nerves, I jerked off languidly to the heavenly image of a rump roast with pendulous tits. And wished my thick wife was as hot as a rump roast with pendulous tits.
Don't we all?
Absolutely. Okay, well, I saw what the first line of that was. Now that all my seed was in a sock under my recliner where it belonged, I could jump into action. I needed my tactical knife, my AR, my homemade beef jerky, which was hard and unyielding in the mouth. Makes the teeth creak. It was a big piece, so it stuck out from between my lips and bounced as I chewed. Jerky spit was starting to stick to the edges of my mustache. It was the manliest thing ever.
Huh?
Hi, Mom.
Oh, no.
In order to protect my Western-style wife from not my President Biden coming into our home and getting his hands on our meat, I stationed myself on the back porch and waited. My property could only be entered from the back, so there was no way Biden could slip in and come into my home without being noticed. Anyway, once he saw my sick army-grade tactical outfit, long, gleaming AR, my jerky slicked mouth, and my half-chub, he'd be heading for the hills for sure. That'd teach him to come on my property uninvited, trying to get it my meat. Everything was going great at first, but I guess I must have jerked it too good before my vigil. I got sleepy and immediately passed out.
Oh, damn.
When I woke up, the back door was open, and my iron-rich blood boiled like hot au jus on the stovetop. Someone
That's really good.
was here. Hey, I requested writers write this.
It's very good.
There was a noticeable trail of dust and desiccated skin fragments leading across my deck and into the house. And it smelled overwhelmingly of baby powder and cologne. Yeah, that seemed accurate. It didn't take me long to find him. The Hamburglar himself was in the kitchen, was at the kitchen table, helping himself to a cold, leftover cheeseburger he found in my fridge. It's just like Marjorie Taylor Greene said, I thought. When I drew down on him, he stared blankly at me and then smiled. His golden leg hairs sparkled in the light of the refrigerator bulb. Get out of my house, you Bolshevik! I bellowed at him. But not my president. Joe Robinette Biden Jr. seemed unfazed. Almost as if he didn't know where he was or what he was doing.
This is painful. This is hurting me.
Hey, you know, heaven and hell. You got the shot. Now you gotta listen to this. Hey, Jack, Biden said.
No.
Hey, Jack! Doug, I growled, and stay away from my marbled treasures.
He corrected him that his name is Doug, not.
Yeah. Listen here, Jack. I ain't here for your meat, Biden said. Hey, you see that car outside? That was my dad's car. Man, he could drive. That car's like a brother to me. or a wife. Love Dr. Carr. It's like, once I'm behind the wheel, I'm like, oh, well, anyway, that's my time. His incessant babbling was equal parts confusing and mesmerizing. His leg hair kept glittering in my eyes. It was soothing in a strange way, like talking to my favorite drunk uncle at Thanksgiving. I noticed that he had lowered my gun nearly to the floor. I wondered if this was how people became Maoist soy boys. If you aren't here for my meat, why did you come here? I asked. My gun clattered to the floor as my grip on it relaxed entirely. It went off into the wall, but I didn't even... It was the hypnotic leg hair, glowing with the golden light of cultural Marxist lies.
Wow. The author, such talent, I mean this in the most genuine way possible.
I've been transported. Listen here, fat, Biden said. I don't give two, about your meat. I didn't say anything about taking anybody's meat. You know what makes me proud to be Delaware? Walking into another man's house in the dark and seeing what he's got in the fridge. In my day, you left in a rain barrel, took it out, and roughed it up in the street. I didn't get to be Senate for nothing. You just, well, it's like, geez. Anyway, I shouldn't have said that. I'm over my time. Please, you have to tell me more. I need to know all your Pinko Stalinist secrets. I begged, getting down on my knees in front of him. I clutched at his shirtwaist, which was tucked into nothing. He was porky pigging it. He was porky pigging it right in front of my eyes. All right, Pete, settle down, he said, caressing my cheek. He had enunciated too hard, and a tiny fleck of hamburger bounced off my eyebrow. I already told you, you lying dog-faced pony soldier. If you want real answers, ask another Joe Biden. It's all on my website. Look, I gotta leave soon. My wife needs the basement in 10 minutes, and hell, I need to thank you.
Text Joe to 3303.
My president, Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., rose to his feet. His dick was unyielding and pointed directly at the ceiling. That's a problem. It was at eye level. It dawned on me. I was on my knees. I had a powerful urge to get right in there, but I didn't. Because I am very, very straight. A true patriot.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Biden shuffled towards the door, Biden shuffled not toward the door, but toward the stairs, which led up to where my wife still lay sleeping. Despite the yelling and the gunshots, I was dimly aware I was responsible for. Biden tripped over and up the stairs like a tumbling, pantsless angel. His dick, that I definitely didn't want to guzzle at all, bounced and bobbed with every trip and stumble. I followed him upstairs, hoping that maybe he'd fuck my female-type wife in front of me. When we got to the bedroom, Biden turned on the light, and my wife was the most beautiful side of grass-fed American beef I had ever seen. This was the best night of my life. Suddenly and agonizingly, I woke up, coming my brains out. Shit! That Biden dream again, I grumbled, as my red-hot jism flowed tallow-like down my leg. I was in my apartment, and I didn't even have a wife. I could if I wanted to. My taste in anime was impeccable, but until I found the subservient, silent trad wife of my completely realistic thought experiments, I would always have Joe. The end? Squink. That is written at the end. Oh!
Oh, that was really good.
You know, sometimes you don't even have to ask, is it art? It's just art.
You just know.
Yeah. So thank you, Natalie, and thank you, Kurt. Hey, anytime you want to write, I'm more than happy to read it. I would love Ted Cruz and Ted Cruz's beard /fiction. Hey, maybe we'll get it. I can do at least as good a Ted Cruz impersonation as I can of Biden.
I cannot wait. I can not wait.
I will make one request. We will not be doing a what is his name? Matt Gaetz, because it's too gross. I don't want to do a Matt Gaetz one.
No, thank you.
Because he has a lot of pictures with high schoolers talking about like being at the hot table, and I do not want to deal with that shit.
No.
Yeah.
No.
But I
a Rudy Giuliani one would be funny though.
You know what? That would be excellent.
Yeah.
Just I do want to note, every time I said cum, it was the cum you think it is. It was written that way.
That was, yes.
That was evident.
It was apparent. Okay. You did a really good job of making that very apparent.
I didn't want you to miss when I said cum.
No, I don't think I did a single time.
Excellent. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, well, that was upsetting.
Kudos to you for an excellent reading. That was very good.
You know, we could have you read one. I actually...
yeah.
I really wanted... so one of the reasons why I wanted to do this is because I'm planning to put the other NSFWs up. One of those is you reading a story and being very uncomfortable with it. So I'm excited about that possibility.
Hi, Mom.
Yeah. I won't post that one to Facebook, so...
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter.
Okay, then I will post it to Facebook.
Yeah. I'm getting that, like, airplane feeling of, like, death is imminent. I don't care.
Did I mention the potential, and we're, I don't know that we're out of time or anything, but we're definitely running out of steam because of various things. But we may have a special episode in early June in which we get some NSFW participation. Since we technically could have 4 people on 2 screens, and we've set up the other side of it already. We could get some real nasty business and maybe make the dark.
There has to be a better way to phrase this than NSFW participation.
I mean...
Makes it sound like a very different show.
It is technically NSFW.
I mean, yes. All right, that's fine.
Like, I wouldn't watch this with the sound on at work either. Unless you want them to know about Joe Biden and all the cum.
Joe Biden was written incredibly well.
Oh, that's my time. I wasn't able to do it at the time. People who watched the section where you had left the room will note that trying to work out my impression, it was tough to get it, but I had it a little better for a minute, and it's because you just basically can't move your bottom part of your face. Joe Biden talks with like one half of his mouth open and without using his teeth. So it's like you have to like push it from your diaphragm and be like, "Oh, you dog-faced pony soldier." Like you can't talk like a human. It's really frustrating to try and do, especially going back and forth. But one day maybe I'll be okay at it. We'll just have to do as many stories as it takes to get.
We need some practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some nasty, disgusting practice. Featuring Joe Biden, everybody's favorite president.
Ugh. Yeah.
Did you hear Meghan McCain complain about Joe Biden? Because for some reason I pay attention to that shit.
Normally I pay attention to Meghan McCain because that's it's captivating for many reasons, but
it is captivating.
I don't know what she said this week, no.
Hey, Nicholas, did you hear any of my rendition? Well, you're going to have to watch the episode up to the 2.5 hour mark to see me talk about cum a lot. It's bad.
And by bad, we mean very, very good.
Nick did read it last night.
Yeah.
Yes. Biden's sentence structure is definitely apparent. That is
it's
absolutely
yes.
written correctly. I think I'm going to request a Ted Cruz story for the future.
Yeah, I'd be interested to...
And then I'm definitely going to want Madison to read it in her best Ted Cruz.
Yes.
Can you give me your Ted Cruz real quick?
No.
What do you?
I'll do Meghan McCain. I'll do a Meghan McCain.
Actually, that might be excellent. That is a great point.
If someone writes me a Meghan McCain, I will do it.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah. There's some motivation for someone.
Okay. Anyway, Meghan McCain said that Joe Biden was ruining America, in her own shitty way. Like you would expect. And I'm going to ruin America by getting another potato taco in a little bit.
I mean, if you're going to do it, that's probably the best way to do it.
I imagine you're going to ruin America by falling asleep for 12 hours, which I'm very jealous of if that's the case.
I don't know. I took it pretty easy today. I didn't sleep. I didn't take a nap, but I did sleep in this morning because my flight got in last night at 11 something. But I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
There might be a potato taco in my future.
I mean, everybody gets a boost from potato taco.
I think they do, as they should.
So so the first time, just full disclosure, we ordered potato tacos after the 420 podcast, and that was just a nightmare. It was enjoyable.
What do you mean?
I actually really enjoyed being high with you and it being not a conversation. There was nothing happening for like 2 hours.
It was a lot of silence.
It was a lot of silence and a lot of dog TikToks. But what ultimately happened was I got the new Taco Bell like beef potato discount item thing. And I remember it being really good, but I could not remember what it was like because when I ate it, I was high as fuck. And
oh no.
I continued to be high as fuck for a while after that. But I'm going to out you right now and talk about how you ended that conversation, which was to say,
no.
I think I'm going to go, I think I'm going to lay on my bed and play with the lights.
This light, to be clear for everyone, which does like multiple
and you did some stuff that, especially when I was high, I was like, that's fucking cool. But you said you were going to go play with the lights and lay on your bed. which you also told me later you fell asleep like almost instantly. But then you said goodbye like 6 times, and by the end of it, it was like, is this real life? Is this over? The difference being you then went to sleep, and I put the podcast up and did shit for like 8 more hours because my body is terrible. I literally went out and like did a bunch of shit and just like regretted how high I was.
I'm so sorry.
It was kind of fun. Like, I'm not gonna say it was a bad time, but it was definitely weird. So when you talked to me the next morning, I forget what it was, but you said something. I was still up from before.
Okay, that makes sense because I remember
like
texting you and being very surprised that you were awake.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's not either. That's not good.
Yeah. I think I fell asleep like a half hour after that, but that was me still being awake.
Yeah.
So, revealing maybe how broken we are as human beings. But
well, you know what?
You like
the lights are fun. Oh,
honestly,
thanks.
If you would, oh, thank you. Yeah, no, trust me, I have some idea that that's not true, but it's nice to think about. The lights were actually fun. I get that. They aren't just a solid color. You can like make them like make a pattern and like move around and shit.
I've done this on the pod before. I'm pretty sure I have.
No, I think you've only done it when we've been done.
Can't reach with my arm. Okay. Please hold.
Yeah.
Oh God.
All right. Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. So
there. Wait. It does more exciting things than that.
Yeah, the more exciting stuff is the stuff that hasn't. Yeah, this stuff hasn't been on the podcast at all. And when it's dark and you're high, that looks dope as hell.
Well, I did lay in bed and just go for a little bit.
That's often when I do the most like music, I don't know, just fucking around is often when I'm like out of it.
I think I did fall asleep with like music playing loud on my phone. Which I'm sure was really fun for Jenny like the next morning. But
yeah, everything seems like it would be really fun for Jenny from that evening.
Hey.
She had the day off the next day, right? That was a Sunday.
It was. Yep.
So
we're all good.
Fuck it. I'm strongly considering whether or not to bring certain horrible things. Do you guys have a television set up to like watch things on as a group?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can it play discs?
No.
Okay.
I cannot.
I may have to find a way around that. I have some garbage. I don't know if it'll be good garbage, but I have garbage.
I might be able to figure out a way to do it. I'm sure there's someone here I can borrow something from to do. But I don't have
nothing important. Trust me.
Well, if it's the Sherlock Holmes DVD, then it's very important.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you finally watch it with the extras.
I need the extras. It's important.
Mr. Downey Jr., what did you think about this scene where you slow motion figure out how to punch a man? Well, I was on a lot of coke, so I'm not sure.
You know what? It would still be captivating. It would be very nice to watch. And I would watch the shit out of all of those extras.
Yeah.
So.
Good to know. All right. Well, I think we've devolved to almost being high territory, so we should probably stop the podcast. But
probably.
Thank you for listening to our smut. Thank you to Natalie and Kurt for providing that smut.
It was
and
amazing.
Send us any emails, or if you've written smut, I might read it. I don't know. Send that to It's This Week's Podcast, all one word, at gmail.com.
Or at Vegeta42069 on Instagram.
Well, both of those places will take your smut. Why don't you come see us on the internet?
Okay. That's it. Be gone, thoughts.
Yeah, Bajavers, McClunky or whatever.